One
There
of
he
these
is.
days, I'm gonna get this timing down real smooth. Trust.
I thought I was gonna have to take over real quick.
Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of Smoke and Mirrors presented by the Sports Hit List. I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside Greg Polius. And again, we are without Declan. It'll be a little while before we have him back, but don't worry, we have some fun guests for you in the interim. But before we get into it, Greg, as always, sir, how you doing? Is that a jersey I see on you?
It is a jersey. I mean, you can see a little logo. Maybe that gives a little hint into what we're gonna discuss today. Before I get into that, you asked me how I'm doing. I'm a little perturbed, and here's why. Yeah, I'm a little perturbed.
I see.
And for all those guys out there like me, who myself struggle to grow a beard, I have to talk about the most toxic relationship of all time, and that is a mask and a guy's beard. Because I struggle just to even make this thing look somewhat full because of this mask I have to wear at work every day. I just wanted to get that off my chest. It's so frustrating.
Sounds like a real struggle.
It is. See, it's either, and I can't be that you don't have to worry about this. I can't do that. I'd rather just not have it than have the in between.
I mean, I'm not going to complain when this is all I grow, people. There's not like a concerted effort to try and keep it like this. It just is like this. And when I was younger, I wanted a beard. I wanted to have a full beard. I'm like, oh, I'm going to look so sexy. And it never happened. Really didn't happen. But I tell you this right now, I enjoy not having to worry about all that, the maintenance, the mask bull crap I hear about. It is, and shout out to Garrison. He has, as he would say, the best beard in the Polius family. He has his own struggles. I've seen his struggle days. They're not cute. All right. Nobody likes a flaky beard.
Or a patchy beard. That's the worst. But as you guys see, you kind of see a throwback ISO Joe jersey here for the fans. There's been a lot of talk in the sports hit list streets that we do not talk about basketball, or we don't give basketball the love that it deserves. And the truth of the matter is you have the other shows that cover it because they don't have the versatility to talk about the other sports that we do. That's really what it comes down to. Okay. Outside of Ray Jarvis on the basketball team and Paul Lawson on the football team, shout out to those guys. The rest of the team, they're really just one-trick ponies if we really keep it in a stack, especially Carl.
I didn't know you were going to come out spitting like that. I heard you.
The baseball team, we talk basketball, football, baseball. I even talk a little hockey when I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? We do it all. So
versatile.
If you want the versatility, you come to Smoke and Mirrors. You want the one-trick pony stuff, you go to, the Wednesday
NFL,
show,
the kickoff,
or the Sunday NFL kickoff.
Yep.
We all know Travis could barely talk about football. Lord knows that he can't talk about other sports. Rick could talk his little football. I'll give him that. But when it comes to baseball, and Rick could talk a minor amount of basketball. I'll give you that. So Rick is on a bubble. He's dipping his toe into the versatility pool. But the rest of the team, nah, they not messing with us.
So I didn't know you were going to collect bodies like that today. You really came prepared. To those other teams, I mean, y'all can respond in due course. But as Greg said, we do have versatility, and we are going to start with some basketball. And I like to begin with this because I don't think this is something that the other teams, the NBA team, covers necessarily. Because we all know about the superstars in the league. We enjoy them. They make the biggest difference in the game. However, the unsung heroes of the team, the bench players that tend to put in the minutes that do count, we don't talk about them enough. And so today, I want to highlight and kind of speak to Greg as well as our guests who I'm about to bring in and talk about the top 5 benches in the NBA because they are impactful. And we've seen, 2017, 2018 Golden State, how important a bench can be. And there's been more investment in those bench players. So to talk about this, I want to bring in none other than Ziggy D. Gregory, Mr. Z, actually. Let me get it right. Mr. Z, to come in and talk about this. Also a member of the NBA team on Wednesdays.
We gonna call Zig the resident NBA analyst. Zig, before you go, I got one more body to collect because there's somebody in the comments with some real hurt feelings, and that is none other than Mr. Emotions himself, Carl Coulange, talking about shut up, we don't know wrestling. Sir, wrestling is entertainment. You don't hear wrestling is not a sport. It is entertainment. It is scripted.
They decide the winners before they even get in the ring.
All right. And now that the WWE is on its last leg, a dying breed, you coming out here trying to shoot your last second shot from from half court in the comments. Nah, you don't want this war, bro. You're not about this life.
We got Travis saying, "Don't nobody care about bum ass baseball." Travis, stop it. All right, that is a weak argument. All right, let's be serious here. All right, because baseball. Why you want to try and throw shade at baseball? We already know when we talk baseball, people tune in, people listen. All right, that's just a fact. When you talk football, you might put people to sleep, and that's on you. All right, but I'm just saying when we talk baseball, all right, people tune in. So don't talk about baseball as if it's some kind of throwaway sport. No, sir. All right. Work on you. You sound hurt. You got some you misdirecting. Work on you, bro. Mr. McKay. But Mr. Z we have here right now. Sir, how are you doing?
I don't know how to feel right now. I took a lot of shots at a lot of people, and I feel like I caught a graze in that bullet just now, man. I don't know, man.
Might have, honestly. There's a lot of strays that definitely that went loose there. Boy was just spraying on everybody.
Took the safety off and started spraying on them.
Really did. But we are talking.
What'd you say?
That's why you a bully, Greg. You're a bully, bro.
Really yeah, that's that narrative that Carl was pushing.
It ain't Steph. It ain't Garrison. It's you.
You have the most time to perfect it. You know, he's the eldest, so it makes sense. But Zig, yes, we're going to talk about NBA benches, right? Top 5. And I think this is something that, you know, it could go under the radar. I think basketball fans, like people that actually watch the game, pay attention and they're aware of, you know, how good a bench can be and how pivotal it is, you know, middle of the game or even late in the game. But I want to hear from you first. Give me your top 5, you would say right now in the NBA for benches and bench players.
All right. So top 5 for me. It's a little
start from
5. Huh?
Start from 5. I figured you would, but I just want to put it out there.
Yeah, start from 5. All right. So starting from 5, of course, I'm gonna go with the hometown team, not the Brooklyn Nets. That would be the New York Knicks, personally. I think they have a lot of.
You said Brooklyn don't have no home.
They need to take their ass back to Jersey for all I know. But for me personally, I think Manny take Manny with you too. You could take Paul. I mean, not Paul. You could take what's my man name?
Peter.
Undertaker. Yeah, Peter. You could take Undertaker with you. You could take Eric. Go right back to Jersey. East Rutherford with that shit. But for me personally, the reason why I'm picking the Knicks is that they have a lot of pieces on the bench that could come in and kind of keep the game rolling or keep the game trash as the Knicks have been doing. So I don't know if everyone want to go with that. But you look at individuals like Quickly, who's kind of regressing this year a little bit, but still capable of knocking down the three-point ball, still being able to move the ball. Obi Toppin has actually gotten a little bit better this year. And
got a motor on him, boy.
You seen there was a clip the other day where he ran like 3 times up and down the court. One time
he got suicides, bro.
And then did the dunk at the end. Yeah, he did suicides on the court. Exactly. So a lot of hustle from Obi Toppin. And Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel is huge for us because Mitchell Robinson, anytime he gets into foul trouble, he comes right in and he's able to actually lock down the paint better than Mitchell Robinson can. And a shout out to Taj Gibson, who comes in and gives us garbage minutes or cleanup minutes whenever Mitchell or Nerlens is out. He's very, very capable at 35, 36 years of age. He's the only Brooklyn person in the NBA that I'm going to shout out. So screw them Nets. I don't like them guys, man. I think for me, number 4, personally, I'm looking at my list right here. It's either going to be for me between the Nets and the Suns. Reason being is that whenever Chris Paul goes to the bench, for me, I think Cameron Payne does a great steady job of being able to hold that position for about 10 to 15 minutes, however it may be. We've seen that take place in the NBA Finals. I think McGee was a great pickup to back up DeAndre Ayton. Landry Shamet, the Brooklyn Nets had him as well. He's pretty good on both sides of the ball. And Cameron Johnson can shoot the lights out whenever he's wide open. You know what I mean? That's any NBA player, right?
Get out of my head, bro. Get out of my head.
Hold up. Actually, so you have. Let me get your explanation for the Nets because you were Nets/Suns.
Yeah. So my reason for the Nets, it was like, should I count them? Because Patty Mills is currently the starter, but we know if Kyrie Irving would be playing, then Patty Mills would be, relegated to the bench. So it would honestly just be, we could keep it just like that: Knicks, Suns, Boom. Nets for me would be the next one right there. You're looking at Paul Millsap, who's now not the big time star that he was when he was in Denver, or not Denver, sorry, when he was in Atlanta. But he's able to come in and give you about 10 to 9 minutes, solid veteran. He's able to, still provide for the NBA for the Nets. LaMarcus Aldridge, even though he's starting, he's been very, 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 very good. I mean, almost surprised. This is a guy that was not almost, he was out of the league, right? He retired because of the heart issue and all of that. Another person that I'm looking at is Nicholas Claxton. He's pretty good. You know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna take the Nets out. I don't feel right. I don't feel like putting Nets in there no more, man.
His heart wasn't in it, bro.
I'm lying to myself. I'm looking at these names. I'm looking at this team like, nah. This ain't it for me. So bump them. Let's go to Los Angeles and let's talk about the Clippers. For me, the Clippers definitely have a strong squad. Batum is currently hurt, but whenever he's on the floor, he's capable of giving you that 3-point shot, capable of being your point forward whenever need be, right? Terrence Mann is going to play on both sides of the basketball. Shout out to Brandon Boston. Had a big game against the Celtics, 27 points, 4 steals, only missed 4 shots, went 9 of 13. So I would put him in there if he was able to give us a little bit more consistency, but obviously that comes with more playing time, which he hasn't been getting, but he's been back and forth between the G League, and we're seeing the progress slowly but surely. Another guy I don't want to mention, Eric Bledsoe is a bum, so I'm not gonna call him.
He is a bum.
But Luke Kennard. I'm gonna go with Luke Kennard. He knows his role. Your role is to get open, come off those screens, knock down those 3-pointers. That is your job. He does it almost as good as Duncan Robinson, if not maybe even better this year, because Duncan Robinson has been very, very shaky. But I gotta give it to Terrence Mann, gotta give it to the Clippers. So that's 5, 4,
3, up to 2.
2. I don't want to give Greg any props, but
after your 2, I want to hold off on 1.
Hold off on 1? Okay,
yeah.
I'll hold off on 1. So with 2, I guess I got no choice. I got to give props to Greg. You know what I mean? The Grizzlies have been cooking with Ja Morant sitting out, and that's courtesy of the dual point guard that they got going on between
Anthony Melton and Tyus Jones.
Right. Tyus Jones provides you the offensive playmaking, and D'Anthony Melton is taking care of the ball on the defensive end. I know because I had him in fantasy. Kind of tired. I let him go a little bit because somebody else did. But I'm gonna go with them. I also like Xavier Tillman. People don't give him a lot of credit coming off the bench.
Zig, you're doing a lot of talking, and I feel like I'm gonna be regurgitating what you're saying, and I don't know if I like
that. Hey man, you told me what the topic was. I was like, yo, I'm at work, but I could put something together real quick. But nobody talks about Xavier Tillman. He comes in, he provides solid minutes, not no big 20-minute guy or anything like that, but huge screen setter.
Another guy that knows his role.
Knows his role too. He knows when he gets in that paint, your job is to try and get some putbacks. Maybe you could take a shot in the paint, but doesn't try to do too much like Draymond Green. But yeah.
So Zig, I just want to say this, right? Because Greg, I want you to hit your 5, 5 through 2. But we have Ant Mullen in the comments, and he said if Milton was so good, why'd you drop him? And he also has some beef if the Lakers ain't make the top 5, which we don't have to say if they did yet. We still have a number 1 for you. But he's talking smack about your fantasy team, which is per the course.
I'll let you handle that because me, you, and Greg know about playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Me, you, and Greg.
You're right.
And Steph, I remember because you knocked me out. But who knocked out Anthony?
I think it was a team by the name of Basketball Jones, if I'm not mistaken.
There we go.
That team is definitely battle tested. Thurgood Jenkins or whatever whatever it was last year, not battle tested at all. All right. Though they're a bunch of young bucks squawking all the time. They got a lot to say, none to show for it, not one thing to show for it. I'm sorry, consolation bracket. I guess. I'll beat up on losers. Anyway, Greg, what's your top 5 right now? Give me the 5 through 2.
So at 5, I'm gonna go a little different direction than Zig. I'm gonna go with the Bulls. All right. And we know what the big stars are doing on the wings, and the addition of Lonzo, aside from Skip Bayless is take preseason. Okay. We know that it was the perfect fit. But they've been hit with a ton of injuries and protocols, and they're still sitting right there with the Nets atop the Eastern Conference. You know, Caruso's been in and out the starting lineup. He got hurt. Derrick Jones stepped up, and they have Ayo, I think is Dunusu. I can't pronounce his name.
Or Mamu?
I don't know, bro, but his name is Ayo.
Yeah,
there it is.
And these are guys kind of like Zig said, I forgot which team, but they're not going to put up big points, but they're going to do the little things. Derrick Jones came in and was averaging a block a game, you know. But you have the big men, and they have a lot, like even like a Patrick Williams, who was drafted way higher than what he should have been, but he still plays a role on this team. He's not going to be the lottery pick that everybody expected of him, but he's going to be a wing defender, and he's going to, you know, give you solid minutes off the bench. And even when these guys getting hurt, they incorporated the starting lineup, and the Bulls keep winning. Number 4, I'm going to go with the hometown team, as Zig would say, the New York Knicks. Similar to what Ziggy said, I think Tibbs also needs to give some of these rookies. Tibbs kind of reminds me of Van Gundy, where he doesn't allow these rookies to really grow. You saw what happened to Obi Toppin last year. It's not like this talent came out of nowhere.
No,
No. And I think Grimes is somebody that could give y'all some valuable minutes, especially when Mitchell Robinson is bumming it up. You know, I think Grimes could be.
It is often.
I think he could be a real athletic big for you guys and play the perimeter, you know, pick and roll defense as well. Number 3, I'm gonna go with the Suns. Did you go with Suns as well?
Yeah.
Ziggy?
Yeah, the Suns is on there.
Yeah.
Suns is 4.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Suns just because, literally because of everything Zig said. And then you even have guys like Frank Kaminsky coming off the bench and hitting
Frank
threes. Yeah, you know, guys that you don't expect to have these big games. There was even a stretch where JaVale McGee was starting for 8, and he was playing really well because I picked him up. He won me a matchup against you, Steph.
The reason, honestly, I was just looking at this, right? Because I went and picked up Monk on Sunday, and I'm like, I needed 2 threes, 0 threes. 0 threes. The man gets put in the game to hit threes. He hit no threes that day. I was real tight about it.
Anthony, that's also probably why the Lakers aren't on any list. Maybe because their role players not even playing their roles.
Man, I tell you the next day hit like 5 threes. I was like, this is what we doing? Sabotage. It's sabotage. Because I picked him up like this is what this guy does. He gets off the bench and he hits threes. And what did he do? Nothing. He gave me like 2 boards and an assist. Like I needed that.
Meanwhile, I picked up Tyus Jones and caught me 8 assists.
Boy.
He's
assists were like a thing until them happened.
First of all, perfect segue, because my number 2, you shout out my Memphis Grizzlies. You know. All right. And not only you mentioned Xavier Tillman, DeAnthony Melton, and Tyus Jones, but we still got to give props to those dudes on the wings, like a Desmond Bane, who stepped his game up this year.
Well, hold up, wait, not to cut you. Isn't he starting?
Yes, he is starting. But I was just talking about in general because you kind of took my bench talking points. Remember, I said you was talking for me because I was definitely gonna bring up Xavier Tillman.
Zig know what he's talking about. You know, Zig's like I came prepared.
But yeah, Steph, do you want me to also stop at 2?
Yes.
Okay, so my Grizzlies are 2, and shout out to the Grizzlies. They beat the Lakers last night. You know. And what you're gonna see from the Grizzlies is guys are gonna, what kind of been a theme of this segment is guys are gonna play their role. Steven Adams, he'll get you 2 points, but he'll get you 13 boards. He's gonna play defense in the paint, and he's gonna be the bruiser that JV wasn't. To be honest, we know Jonas Valanciunas can score, but we were kind of missing that interior defense. And Jaren Jackson Jr. is finally rounding out to what we thought he would be. Right, Zig? Because you snatched him from me in the draft.
Well, you can gladly have that if you want. But Jaren Jackson, for me, since we're talking Grizzlies right now, and I don't want to take too much on time because Steph got to get in there, right? But for me, Jaren Jackson is mad annoying. It's just like 1 minute he's giving you like 25. My man don't get no rebounds. He always want to be on the perimeter, a la Porzingis. You know what I mean? He gave me some blocks. He gave me some points. But how my team is situated right now, I don't want points. I want blocks. I want rebounds. I need that.
Oh, so this is a real personal strategic
It
gripe.
sounds like it.
Please. I need blocks and I need rebounds. I don't need 26 points. And plus, when John Morant comes back, he's taking that all from you anyway. So there it is.
Well, actually, Zig, I'm about to hit back to you. I want to hear your number one.
Oh, my number one.
Really. Yes. So we're gonna go to you and get your number one bench in the NBA right now. Who is it?
My number one bench in the NBA at the current moment belongs to the Golden State Warriors. I mean, what they're doing right now, everybody's talking about Steph. Yes, Steph is killing, but somebody that I guess Anthony could speak to, that would be Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole has been really cooking it up in place of Klay Thompson.
I'm real tight about that.
Why is that?
God, I dropped him after like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that hurts.
That always hurts.
That hurts. But yeah, Jordan Poole definitely has been killing on both sides of the ball. I didn't know he was that good of a 3-point shooter. Sometimes he's letting it loose from sometimes Steph range. And it amazes me that, the ball is going in like that. So shout out to him. Definitely got to give credit to the former 3rd overall pick who's no longer bumming it up. That would be Otto Porter. He knows his role now. He doesn't have to be stuck in the starting lineup, not knowing what to do or not being able to be productive. He can be productive in his own little corner, just coming off the bench. Shout out to Gary Payton Jr., defensive menace, almost like his father, but has way better.
His bunches are stupid.
Way better hops than his pops, and he's been providing for us. I don't want to forget anybody. I have Juan Toscano Anderson. He's another guy. When he comes in, he's able to
JTA.
Play some defense on both sides of the ball. And that's the thing about the Warriors. They have a lot of athletes coming off the bench who can do a lot of things. Really, for them, it's like a lot of positionless basketball. And shout out to James Wiseman, because now when he gets back, the Warriors are now already they do, but they have another option that they can go with a big lineup if they need to, because, they play small most times with Draymond Green playing the 5. But then when James Wiseman comes back, you no longer have to rely on Kayvon Looney, who's been doing a serviceable job as well. So credit to him. So that would be my number one. That would be San Francisco, the Oakland Warriors.
and ladies and gentlemen, that is why Ziggy is our resident NBA analyst, because he comes on shows and takes literally all of my talking points. Shout out to JTA for his post on JaVale McGee.
That was mean.
Yeah, that was an angry dunk.
Are we acknowledging? Sorry, not to cut you, Greg. Are we acknowledging Anthony, or are we just gonna ignore him?
No, we're gonna ignore him.
All right, bet. All right, cool.
I'm honestly waiting until he plays Steph. Like, that's the matchup I'm waiting for.
I think everybody's waiting for that matchup.
Week 11, Week 11, bro. Trust. I'm on this. Like,
see how he's shaking.
For those of you that aren't in our fantasy sports hit list league for basketball, Anthony writes like 8 to 10 sentence responses to talk shit. Yeah. It's crazy.
That boy ain't never take an L. Tell you that right now. I always have some excuse for why his team underperformed, and if they did poorly, it's because some guy was out, or I dropped this person, or that person have a good game. Never, you got it. Never take an L to the face, and it's all right though. I expect that from him, but he's in 4th place, doing his little thing in 4th. It's all right. He cute there. He doing his little thing. Like keep doing. And honestly, this whole. You know what? We said we weren't going to address it. I'm going to leave it alone because I can go in, but we'll keep it there.
Zig, you kind of stole the thunder a bit here, but I'll still talk a little something. But I also have the Warriors at number 1 because of their bench. And it kind of reminds me.
Basketball, bro.
What you said?
No basketball, so it's only right.
It kind of reminds me of, what was that, 2014, the first year they won?
2015.
2015 with the Sean Livingstons and the David West. But these guys are more athletic than those guys, and they run.
Yes,
they can run you out of a gym real quick. And the emergence of Poole, and I'm real interested to see how Wiseman fits back in. But I think they have the best bench by far. And it's kind of why Steph made his claim of 72 wins, his hot take in the beginning of the season.
I mean, where are they at?
But wait. We didn't even talk about the most important piece. Klay is going to be coming back. And that means somebody's going to have to shift to the bench, which means it makes the bench even stronger.
That would be Poole. Or Wiggins, who knows? They could be one of those.
We don't know. But what it's gonna do is gonna make their sixth man is gonna be
about to be wild.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What is even going on here? I'm sorry. I do have a question for y'all because I was first I wanted to look up this damn record if my computer wanted to comply. Yes, 21-4. I bet. I just need to know how much I have in the tank still. You know, I got 6 losses to play with. But Zig, I want to ask you this actually.
Yeah.
Mode. Because you kind of mentioned 6-man, Greg. Who do you like right now, you personally? This isn't exactly what we were discussing, but it's adjacent to it. Who do you see as a 6-man right now leading for that award?
Tyler Hero.
I mean, that face isn't warranted because Tyler Hero has been very good off the bench.
You know, and the problem with it is you don't want to pick him because he easily can be a starter. But the question was 6-man, right? And he's clearly the 6-man coming off the bench. There's nobody else. If we want to say somebody else besides Tyler Hero at the moment, I don't want to go to Jordan Clarkson because he's been kind of bumming it up as of late right now. Maybe you guys can help me with that because I'm only thinking Tyler Hero.
I would go Kelly Oubre.
Mm.
That's where I would go.
Okay.
And I know right now he's starting because of protocols.
Yeah.
But he's usually instant off the bench for Charlotte, who's probably arguably one of the most exciting offenses in all of basketball outside of the Warriors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can co-sign Kelly Oubre because in the beginning of the season he was a bit shaky. And then he started to find himself right before everybody, you know, LaMelo and Terry Rozier got hit with the COVID. So he's really killing right now. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I was going to say Tyler Hero, honestly, because and he's someone that I wasn't necessarily for fantasy trying to draft as high as he went. But seeing the results, it made sense, right? Yeah, it makes sense. He gives immediate offense when he's on the court, and just his 3-point capabilities. He is a force for
out of the sophomore slump.
Miami. He is. He really is. And
also, I see how you swindle Ant Diaz, the Heat fan in our league, for Donovan Mitchell. I peeped that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was that his trade?
Yes, that was his trade.
That was so when Steph in the comments, in the group chat, you had said it don't make sense you having Tyler Hero's name and you're trading Tyler Hero. No, he was getting Tyler Hero.
He's getting, I know. I saw that. He's getting Tyler Hero.
That was my trade.
It makes more sense. Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
He didn't get robbed because at the end of the day, Tim Hardaway is.
I'm talking trash. It was. I mean, because you're gonna put Donovan Mitchell here and Tyler Hero here.
Yes.
So I'm just hating, honestly.
I ain't seen nothing wrong with the trade, honestly. Other than that, I was like, oh, he traded away Tyler Hero, but I had it the other way. It was flipped.
Yeah.
Damn. Hey, hold on, just to add another body. Oh, I'm sorry, just to put another hole in another body.
Oh,
okay.
Some people might
Carl can't even talk like this fantasy basketball.
Hey, let me duck because your bullets go everywhere, bro.
They really do. He got no accuracy, bro. He got no accuracy. He just be spraying everywhere. He's the dude to call the duty. What they say?
Off the hip.
Yeah, hip fire. No, it's hip fire. But you be doing it. You be doing it with the LMGs, like just 100 rounds, just everywhere. Like, bro, be a marksman for once.
Carl can talk basketball, but can Carl talk about everything? Include because now fantasy is a part of sports as far as I'm concerned.
Okay,
right? Carl can't do that.
Ooh.
So you just put that another notch on the versatility belt. Right?
I tagged him, so I hope he sees this.
I hope he sees it. So, I mean, if somebody want to get the yellow tape, feel free. I wish we could put gifts in the comments. We need the chalk outline.
Yo, Greg, you're a bully.
Several chalk outlines. But Zig, before we move on, I just want to thank you for coming on, sir. Always appreciate your knowledge, your presence. Always a pleasure. As Greg said, our resident NBA analyst, the only NBA analyst that we allow on here, because I guess we're not including Carl. Is that? I mean that I'm reading between the lines because that's what I heard.
Yo, y'all in so much trouble.
He's a color commentator, I guess at this point.
I'll go get in so much trouble. I don't want no parts of that, son. I don't want no parts. I just want to come talk basketball.
Yo, somebody cue the Africans with the coffin.
Nah, Zig, you gotta be a part of it, but your face on the screen, so I don't know what to tell you.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Anytime I get love from Smoking Mirrors, I always appreciate. I got love from fans. I'm getting love from Smoking Mirrors. I just need to get some love for the Wednesday show.
There's something going on. We know. Apparently, the fan zone and Smoking Mirrors knows what's up.
Carl gonna cut me out of the Christmas flyer. Watch.
He petty. He would, honestly.
Thank you, bro.
Once again, Zig, thank you for coming on, Mr. Z.
Sure.
A pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
For sure.
All right.
Later, fellas.
Peace. Later.
All right. Well, that was a nice start. That was a real fun start.
That was fun.
It was. And Carl, if you're in the comments, don't cut our show, bro. I don't want to get cut halfway through a sentence. Just the live done.
Carl gonna report us. Oh, man.
I can see it. I can see it. All right, let's try to get it in before that happens, though. So moving on, I want to cover this Thursday night game because last night we had the Vikings going at the Steelers, or rather, Steelers going at the Vikings, and it finished 36-28. But before we get into it, I want to bring in who is now our resident Vikings fan. Good to have him. Our boy Cam, Dr. Numbers himself, has made another appearance,
there it
sir.
is.
Yeah,
there it is.
Got it. Hit the flip. Boom.
Hey,
so how are you doing?
Spirit too. What's going on, Cam?
What's up, man?
Good to have you again, sir. Thanks for coming on. So, what started as a lopsided game, 29 unanswered points, became a nail biter really towards the end of this game. So I just want to hear from you. And we had a lot of offense from the Vikings, a season-setting, rushing yard setting measure for Dalvin Cook, and really what looked like, again, it's going to be lopsided, ended up being a closer game. Where's your thoughts on this game as far as, you know, what we said again on when you were on Friday, the poor Vikings defense, but even some of the miscues from Kirk Cousins and that offense in the second half?
Well, I mean, that team in the first half, I think, could beat anybody in the league.
Oh,
but that second half is where the second half team is. That second half team is what really kills. I mean, it's just the same thing every week. I mean, it's just that defense cannot hold anyone for any significant amount of time, and they can look as good as they looked in the first half. It's gonna break down. They don't have the staying power, and with Kirk Cousins, I don't know if the first interception is necessarily on him. I think they got tipped by the defense, and
they got tipped by
to JJ. Yeah,
it got tipped by Devin Bush.
Yeah, and then JJ still almost had his hands on it. So I don't put that one on Kirk Cousins. The second one was entirely on Kirk Cousins.
I disagree with you, Cam.
But, I mean, that was. I mean, no. Greg, wait for your moment.
Okay, I got you.
You can speak to it. Cam, continue, sir.
I just thought it was poor play, but I mean, maybe Greg disagrees. I mean, but I don't think Kirk Cousins was the reason why. I don't think Kirk Cousins was the reason why the Steelers did what they did anyway. I mean, it's just the fact that once that defense gets comfortable and that defense feels like they, have a lead, or they're kind of in the driver's seat, they just switch off mentally, and all of a sudden you look up and the other team scored 3 touchdowns in a few minutes, and it's just
5 minutes.
The game comes so 3, 5, whatever, but I'm just saying, they just move that the game moves so fast to them once they get comfortable, and I place that squarely on Mike Zimmer. He's the coach of this team. He's the defensive guy. He's got to coach this team to be better than that in those situations. Because I read something, I mean, granted, this is never going to be the case, but even if you take half of this, that if you took away all the points that the Vikings have given up in the last 2 minutes of the first and the last 2 minutes of the second half, they'd be 12-0. If you just took those points out.
I did say at one point early in the year, the Vikings were one of the best 500 teams I've ever seen.
The offense can be explosive when it's ready.
Yeah.
Whenever they're 500, whatever that's the life of Vikings fan. I mean, I've heard that forever. Whether we're 500, we're 2 games under, 2 games over, we just missed the playoffs. We're the best, whatever we are, but whatever we are ain't good enough. So
the hurt. Greg, what about you? So what do you make of this game?
Anytime you put up you go up 29, it should not be a one touchdown game. It just should.
Yeah.
I do think that the Vikings tend to play this soft coverage when they get up big, and they just kind of allow even somebody as immobile as a Ben Roethlisberger to pick them apart. And like Cam said last week, they just weren't bringing pressure. But in the first half, third down, he couldn't even get the ball off.
Well, they had like 4 sacks, I think, in the first half, maybe.
Yeah. So I don't know why they wouldn't keep that up in the second half, especially, you getting your guys back on defense. I think Anthony Barr came back and then someone else. But my biggest issue, which is what the turning the turning point of that game, I forgot the DB's name, the taunting penalty. It was so unnecessary. So unnecessary. The unsportsmanlike conduct where he after he made a play, he had a big tackle on who's that? James Washington, pile drived him into the ground, and it stood over him and flexed right in front of the ref. Once you get him into the ground, it was a tackle for a loss. Take your win.
Yeah.
Now you give them 15 yards and a first down, and guess what? They score. Change the whole momentum of the game. And as far as the interception, to me that was a quick slant, and it was a timing play. So Kirk Cousins threw to a spot that KJ Osborne was supposed to be at, and you could tell that he got tripped up on his route by whoever was playing him. I think it was Cam. It might have been Cam. No, it wasn't the guy. But
because Sutton was on that KJ.
Yeah. Okay, it was Sutton. It was Sutton.
Because Sutton was on KJ all night.
Yes, and that's why it looked like it was thrown to him. If you look, there's a clear stumble by Osborne on what was definitely a timing route, because he was trying to get him that ball as soon as he broke. So that's why I don't necessarily put that on him in terms of the second interception. But anytime a team scores 36, you should win, or a team goes up 29, you should win.
Yeah,
you should win easily.
I will pose this question, and Cam, I'll start with you. Kirk Cousins, going into the second half or late into the fourth quarter, attempted maybe, I think, 2 passes or 3 passes. Is there something to be said about breaking up the rhythm that Kirk Cousins had? Because they were running the ball a lot starting the third quarter, going into the fourth. And then when he had to make the play, he wasn't necessarily making it. Do you think that there's something there with the rhythm of play and maybe putting in some passing plays to allow Kirk to still kind of keep his groove? Because he had a groove in the first half and clearly lost it in the second.
I mean, I can see that. I mean, I get why they were running the ball first. They look like, I'm a Michigan fan. They look like Ohio State in the first half playing against Wisconsin. Like in the first half, Dalvin Cook got handed the football and had this far run at any point in time. Like it was insane what they did. But I agree with you. I mean, one of Kirk Cousins' biggest problems is when
you lost him too.
Yeah, I lost him too.
Hold on, Cam. You're in and out. You're in and out. Hold on, Cam.
Hold on, Cam.
Yeah. Sorry, we didn't hear that part.
You gotta say it again. Something about Kirk Cousins.
It's just one.
Oh man, he's in and out. That frozen face too.
Yeah, Cam, you got a frozen face on the screen.
That Wi-Fi, boy. Remember that one time I had that issue? I cut out completely.
I know, right? I don't even think Cam knows he stopped because he's still talking.
Yeah, I think.
Hold up. Let me see. Do I have to mute him? Nah, he's good. Cam, you hear us? Well, we'll let him get his situation figured out. But Greg, I'll ask you the same question.
Okay, go ahead. Ask it again.
Oh, hold on. Well, we're back. Because I do want to hear from the Vikings fan. I feel like you're muted. You're muted, Cam. Are you ready to spit again?
There we go.
I'm not sure why my phone did that one time last time. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
So what was the last thing you heard? I don't know.
It started with Kirk Cousins. That's
all we heard.
Okay. So basically, your question was Kirk Cousins with the rhythm and passing plays. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, Kirk Cousins, one of his biggest problems is when he makes his mistakes, it's because he'll make one mistake, maybe it won't even be that consequential at the time. But then his brain just kind of shuts off, and he just starts. And his mistakes just keep piling on, and he does that. Like Kirk Cousins, like what happened with San Francisco. And San Francisco is a great example for this. He was not really in rhythm. He wasn't hitting his marks, and then he kind of felt the game going away from him, and then his ass lines up under the guard. So I mean, like, that is kind of one of his biggest problems. Is it's like once he gets like flustered and stressed, they gotta move the game away from him a little bit. Otherwise, he's gonna mess up 2 or 3 times before he gets back in rhythm. So I definitely agree with you on that. Like I think they definitely should have put in some passing plays because in the first half, Pittsburgh couldn't stop anything they wanted to do.
Nothing.
They could have physically done about anything with that offense, and that Steelers defense didn't have any answers for it.
He missed JJ on a wide open pass. Like, I mean, Justin Jefferson was wide open twice. No, but I think it had to be the third quarter though. Early in the third quarter, he missed Justin Jefferson wide open on like maybe a 20+ yard pass that he overthrew him, and it was just like as simple as hit him in stride, or even if he had to slow down for it. But it was an easy play that any quarterback in this league should make, and he missed it. And I just had to think to myself,
a la Daniel Jones.
What is? A la Daniel Jones. We could bring it back to that because
I would love to know last night, and Jefferson is a freak of nature, but I would love to know last night his percentage of routes and when he got open, because it looked like he was literally burning whoever they put on.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
That dude was open unless he was getting doubled. That dude was open.
Even with the safety help, though, I think even with the safety help, as long as the route developed, he had separation enough to make a play. And he did get targeted a lot. I think it was 12 targets, might have been 12 plus 15. Okay, I was about to say 15 next, but he didn't pull down as many, and we did see some really great play from the secondary for the Steelers. Micah Fitzpatrick had a great play on him for would have been an easy completion. So I understand that they were highly contested balls, but I felt like there were some easier throws that Kirk Cousins could have made to get to JJ.
And then to the chagrin of our fantasy team, KJ Osborne caught that deep ball instead of JJ.
63 boy.
I actually had a fantasy team where I was forced to start both of them.
Well, not forced to start, not forced to start JJ. That's never a force.
Well, not JJ, but I was forced to start KJ because I had a Jonathan Taylor and Jalen Waddle on bye this week. So,
got you. What were you gonna say, Steph?
I was actually going to ask you what you thought about just the rhythm for Kirk Cousins in that second half.
I was kind of hoping that once they kind of stalled a bit, they would go to some short passing plays. Once the Steelers defense kind of, stopped Dalvin Cook a little bit, and some quick hitters, off the line. Not the silly screen that they sniffed out all game. I think Cam knows what I'm talking about. The bubble screen that didn't work for them.
Double screen to JJ,
yeah. Because like you said, he was beating whoever it was off the line. It didn't matter. Could run a couple inside routes, run an out route, and I have faith in Kirk Cousins to get him the ball in those situations. Unlike Travis, who still thinks Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback for ridiculous reasons. And remember, guys, just to give you an idea of how much Carl doesn't know what he's talking about. He dubbed Travis the football guy. The football guy that is literally on here and wrong every week about something. Just throwing it out.
What's his place in the pick'ems? I actually don't know.
Travis dropped out of the pick'ems.
Got it.
Yes.
That it doesn't show favorably for you, Travis, but whatever.
The Vikings got a lot of problems, but Kirk Cousins isn't really on the list at the moment. I mean,
no, not at all. Honestly, they were like, I want to say maybe a fraction of a second difference in having a tie game. Well, not a tie game, but at least it would have been close, right? Because that last pass
that was infernal.
No, Ben can't put that ball any better than what
he did. That was his best throw of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, that throw was incredible. They just happened to knock that ball out. And
Harrison Smith did a great job getting a hand in it, because if he doesn't get that hand in it, that's a touchdown.
Yeah,
I thought it was, honestly.
And then you got one play to tie the game. I mean, that throw was incredible. I thought as soon as I saw that clear the line of scrimmage, I'm like, they just scored, but then they knocked it out. So
that'd have been like deja vu for you, Cam.
Oh, if they would have lost that game, if Minnesota lost that game, Zimmer wouldn't have been let out the building with his job. He should have been fired weeks ago, but especially last week, but if the Steelers would have won that game after they were up 29 points, I don't think Zimmer would have been able to leave US Bank with his
job. Peter's in the comments. He said,
I was just about to highlight him.
He said, Fryermuth choked.
It's Fryermuth? I thought it was Fryermuth.
It's Fryermuth. Yeah.
I'd rather Fryermuth.
I don't think he choked so much. I do. Yes, he's at tight end. He's supposed to have strong hands, but Harrison Smith's placement timing could not have been any better to get his hand literally in between the pass. So I think that's just more of a great defensive play on a young tight end.
Yeah, I also want to highlight. It was no, sorry. Give me a second, Cam. I just want to say that Peter did say that it was Ben's best throw of the season, and I can argue that is his best throw of the season. Yeah. It's been a very forgettable season. His last season potentially. I don't know if he committed to that. But
rumors.
He came. There was like reports he was saying this was his last season in Pittsburgh. But,
yeah, but like we won't know until he actually says I'm retired.
Right.
So
you're right.
Yeah. But Cam, I'm sorry, you were gonna say something before.
All I was saying was that play was all Hitman. Like that was all Harrison Smith. Like Ben threw a perfect ball, and I don't know what Pat Freiermuth was supposed to do there. I mean, you got an object coming at you like that, in perfect placement. I mean, and he still like barely lost it. So like I don't know how he's supposed to. I mean, what was Pat Freiermuth supposed to do? Really?
Yeah. Well, Vikings win for you. Congrats to your Vikings. All right, you get to enjoy that 6 and 7.
See, the Vikings, man, they're just 6 and 7. But like when we win, I feel like we lost. Like that's
I love to hear that. As a Jet and a Met fan, I know what that feels like.
It's just you come out of that game and you're just like I'm just like, yeah, they won, but like I don't feel like they won.
I can see that.
Yes, no, but let's move on. I want to cover some of these marquee matchups for Sunday, right? And one of the biggest ones in my mind that I'm actually looking forward to greatly is the Cowboys at the Washington football team. All right, this is a matchup that last year my boy Gibby destroyed. All right, he ran all over that team. They're on a 4-game winning streak. We've seen what the Washington football team can do with Heineke back there handing off the ball to Gibby, like we've said. Greg, I'll start with you. Who do you have for this matchup and why?
I'm gonna go football team.
You damn straight you are. You don't go against the football team at this point. We know what it is. As long as Gibson's out there healthy, we know who's going to win.
So I think we know where you're going with this too.
Steph, you got to get a Gibby jersey on the show.
Yeah, you definitely do. Man, you might have to just hang it up in the back. Because so for full disclosure, guys, Gibby when we joined our Dynasty League, Gibby was our first overall pick in our Dynasty League. So there's a lot of emotions tacked on to this player. And
the lack of commitment in the beginning of the season got me tight. I'm sorry. All right.
I was thank you for taking that, but I was gonna say that as well. Yes. But like I said, Riverboat Ron has figured out the formula for this particular team to win. Control the clock. Cowboys offense has been shaky the last couple of weeks. And if you play keep away and you grind out these 12 and 14 play drives and you keep the Cowboys offense off the field. Yes, Trayvon Diggs is a ball hawk. I get it. And he's prone. Tyler Heineke could possibly throw a pick six because Diggs apparently loves the end zone as well.
Yeah.
But I do think this Washington defense is also figured out a bit. So I could see it's a division game. You know how those go. But I could see a real close one, like a 21-17 or 21-20 type of affair here. But give me the football team.
Attaboy. Cam, you about to make a good decision or a bad decision?
I really would have said about the same stuff Greg just said. I mean, the football team are on an upward slope, and it doesn't feel like that Dallas team is really together at the moment. Like it really doesn't feel like they've really got it together. I mean, granted they beat the hell out of the Saints, but I mean they're playing a tight end at quarterback. Like that's its own thing. But like the football team, I mean, is the defense that kind of like monster elite unit we thought it might be? No, but they're playing good football right now.
Yes,
and they figured out how to run that offense. I mean, it's a divisional game, like Greg said, so who really knows? But I really think the football team could really grind away a win in this game, and I'll probably pick them.
Probably. Okay. All right. But you lean in football team. There's no conviction. It's all right. It's all right though. And that's perfectly fine. I do believe that having Landon Collins at the line of scrimmage has improved this secondary as well. It's just he has a presence at the line of scrimmage, and that has helped their defense. I think that the offense can get it going. And even if they get down, let's say in the case that they get down to the Cowboys, they cannot go away from the run. I think that is the biggest mistake they can make. And in last week's game, we saw Gibson didn't have the 7 targets he had the week before. I do believe he needs to have more. I don't know the health of McKissick at this point, but whether he's in or out, he's too dynamic of a player to not give him at least 4 to 5 targets. I think that is important to.
Can I give you a comp real quick?
Yeah.
The football team needs to treat Gibby as the Broncos treated Javonte Williams in his first start against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that was the right amount of touches, both handoffs and throws out the backfield for him. What Peter over here saying? Y'all some haters. On Monday I'll be in this chat. All right, bet.
We gonna see you, Peter. We gonna see you.
We are gonna see you.
Oh,
all right.
Also, real quick, I just want to shout out Peter in the fantasy league. Peter has been hovering in like 10th place all year. I think he won last week.
Football.
Yeah,
okay.
Football. Yeah. I changed jerseys, so I'll be talking football
now.
He's in 8th place now. He's playing Manny, and he had a big night last night. I forgot who he went up with, who played last night. But Manny is in 6th place, and Manny has a chance to lose.
This is the last week.
Yeah, and Manny might miss the playoffs.
Season.
And we can only imagine the rant Manny will go on if he misses the playoffs. I'm just here to tell it. Somebody tag Elijah Muhammad in the comments and let him know that it is a possibility that he could miss the playoffs this week if he loses to Peter.
I'm excited to watch Fan Zone on Tuesday if that happens.
Especially because I think so Travis is in the 3 seed. I'm in the 4 seed. I'm leading my division. I got a 1-game lead in my division. And
all right, toot your own horn.
Just a little bit. I mean, after starting on 4, of course I'm gonna toot my own horn. I started on 4. I'm 8-5 now.
No beef here. No beef here. I just said toot it. All right.
So let me toot. Let me do my tooting.
I bet.
And I forgot Travis's matchup, but it looks like Travis is gonna beat whoever he's playing. And if that happens, like I said, it's gonna be a sad Christmas for Manny.
Oh, snap. Messing up your Christmas plans. But let's keep it moving, though. This is another game, maybe not as exciting, but it is a get-right game, and that's a get-right game for the Ravens. Ravens at the Browns. This is a Ravens team that, we saw last week taking an L, unexpected. We did not call that going against Pittsburgh. Going against a Browns team 6-6 with a Baker Mayfield, that's not that guy, pal. Right, Greg?
He's not that guy. Cam, all season, since preseason, I've been telling them that Baker's not that guy.
But Greg, I'll kick it to you. What are you seeing here? Ravens at Browns. I know who you're going to have, but just give me the reasons for it.
I think this is a get-right game for the Ravens, really. And being that the Browns can't get it going on offense, I think they're going to try to give a heavy dose to Nick Chubb, try to take the pressure off of Baker Mayfield. But when he has to throw a ball, I don't think he'll be able to do it. Even with the Ravens having no corners, they're probably picking guys up off the street as we speak. I'm still going to pick the Ravens because, once again, Baker's just not that guy.
Cam, what you got here?
I'm picking Cleveland. And the reason I say that is I just don't think that Ravens team has it together at all. You look at the last 2 games they've played, they've looked bad. Even when they beat Cleveland, they were bad, just the Browns are worse. And it's just, and it's in Cleveland, right?
But the Browns are worse, though.
No, but let me finish, though. It's in Cleveland, right? It's in Cleveland, right? Though.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Okay. So the Browns look worse on that night. I don't think that Baltimore team is in sync right now. I think they've got no players left on that defense almost. And so
Patrick Queen is healthy, right?
Okay,
I believe so. Yes,
they got one now. But I mean, am I going to be surprised if these teams win? No, but I think it's going to be an ugly game, and
definitely.
I think it's going to be a really ugly game in Cleveland, and I just think Cleveland wins an ugly game. I think they get right in one in ugly games against Baltimore. Am I going to be surprised if Baltimore wins this game? No, because I agree with you. Baker Mayfield ain't that guy. But I think the Browns could easily just run the ball, get pressure, and just win a very, very ugly game. Like, I think the Browns are going to win, and they ain't going to feel great about it afterwards.
I do think, like we spoke about last week, Newsom's the OC, right? Is it? I can't remember his name.
But those two
for the
Ravens. For the
Ravens, yeah.
He needs to open up the playbook early.
Yeah.
All right. I get it. They want to ground and pound. They want to run Lamar. Nah, take the top off their heads, kind of like the Vikings do with Justin Jefferson and KJ Osborne. The quick hitters.
I was gonna say I don't really see this Browns team having a chance unless the ball's in the hands of Nick Chubb and Nick Chubb gets his carries, which sometimes they do not like to feature him. So I think if they feature him against this porous Ravens D, I think that they do have a chance. But I'm feeling Ravens in this one. All right.
I mean,
Baker Mayfield, not that guy.
I see that. I see that definitely. I mean, I think the Browns are going to run the ball. I think they're going to get ugly. But if Greg Roman opens that playbook for Baltimore,
that's Roman. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's okay. But no, Greg Roman, if he opens the playbook early and Cleveland starts getting on their heels, then then the Ravens could and this really could be that get right game. But I just don't know if they're going to do that. And I don't think, and Baker Mayfield may not be that guy, but who's he really got to worry about on that Baltimore defense right now?
Baker Mayfield has to worry about Baker Mayfield.
Not wrong at all. All right, let's keep it moving. Cam, I'll start with you on this one. Bills at Bucks. Who do you have here?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go with the Bucks. Just because
Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, I mean Tom Brady always helps, but I definitely think that Tampa. I just think they're the more complete team right now. I think they're more in sync. I think Buffalo really took a gut punch last week, and I think Tampa's rolling right now. And I just think they're the better football team. And that's really just the only reason. I mean, it's going to be a really good game because I don't think Buffalo's going to spend 2 weeks on. They're too talented to stay 2 weeks, down. But I think Tampa's just a better football team right now.
Greg?
I think around this time last year is where Tampa really started to hit their stride, if I'm not mistaken. I could see that happening again. Shout out to Paul Lawson. He's been saying this all year that the Bucks really haven't beat good teams when they were good, because when they beat the Chiefs were kind of out of sorts. And we have to start asking ourselves, are the Bills not that
you meant
team?
The Bills. You said the Bucks, but you meant the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we have to start asking ourselves, are the Bills really that division winner that people thought of them as? Is this a team in over their heads on offense because of their putrid running game? And first of all, Matt Breida should be a starting running back because those other two running backs stink.
He didn't get featured the way I thought he would.
Yeah.
At least the way they spoke about him.
Exactly.
I think Singletary out-touched him in the snow.
It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. And on the flip side, you have Tampa, who I think is gonna Brady's gonna light up the scoreboard again. Like, these are the type of games where he lives for the moment, and you're gonna see him have a huge day, especially if they throw the ball 60 times like they did last week.
I actually wanted to ask you that for both of you real quick. Do you have any issues with how that game played out against the Bills and the Patriots with Mac Jones having 2 completions on?
Initially, I did, until I sat back and heard that the wind got up to like 64 miles an hour. Then I kind of understood the game plan a little more. And at that point, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah. Cam?
Well, my only issue with it is how the hell the Bills can't stop it. I mean, you know what they're going to do. You know they're going to run the ball. You know that's what they're going to do. Make Mac Jones have to at least pass. Like, make him have to think about it. And they couldn't. I mean, you're an NFL defense with an NFL defense with supposedly a great defensive coach. Are the Patriots going to gas you? Of course they are. But you got to at least make them have to think about throwing the ball. That's the only issue I have.
So, and with that though, because you made a point, that interview with Poyer, and I'm forgetting the other defender that was in this interview, but the question that the journalist asked about, are you embarrassed that they only threw the ball or completed 2 passes and you weren't able to stop them, knowing what they were going to do? Do you agree with that, or at least that line of questioning? Because they took exception to it, obviously, as NFL players, they felt like it was disrespectful. But do you think that was a fair question, given that they ran the ball as many times as they did?
I mean, I don't know. I guess probably a fair question. I mean, if you're playing defense and you especially you're a defensive player, you're a safety, you're a linebacker, somebody, your main job is to stop the run.
Yeah.
And the other team runs 3 pass plays all day and beat you. You probably are embarrassed. They were mad because they're embarrassed.
That's why same sentiments. Same sentiments.
That's why they were pissed. they wouldn't have took offense to it if they weren't already embarrassed. They would have just laughed it off if they weren't.
Greg?
So I didn't know what the question was. I couldn't hear it in the clip.
I mean, essentially, he was asking, speaking about the 3 pass plays and how they ran the ball all game. Were you embarrassed? That's how we ended the question. Was like, were you embarrassed by the results?
So I'm gonna have to. Initially, like I said, I couldn't hear the question, so I kind of sided with the players. But now that I hear what the question was, I'm gonna have to side with the reporter. I think that he's doing his job because that was embarrassing for a quote unquote NFL's best defense, as Cam called them last week.
They were statistically.
Yes, I'm not saying you're wrong, but to basically get punched in the mouth in your home stadium by an offensive line, like they mauled your entire defense the entire game. And I'm gonna go with Cam. They definitely were embarrassed. And now that I look back on it, makes Poyer kind of look kind of soft.
Yeah. Well, maybe they listen to the show. Maybe they'll come on and explain themselves.
And if you're Buffalo, right, too, you're supposed to, your trademark, your thing is, if it gets snowy and gross and cold out here, you're not going to beat us.
Yeah.
And they got embarrassed.
Yeah.
Bigly.
Wow. I was expecting that. I was expecting that throwback. All right. Next game. I got the Bears at the Packers. All right, Greg, who you got here?
Packers. Aaron Rodgers is gonna kind of make his late season push into the MVP race.
Hold on. Is that gonna be your pick'em too?
Oh yeah.
You're not gonna try to get upset here?
No. I'm going Packers here. I'm going Packers. I see what you're trying to do here.
All right, Cam
doesn't look happy about this.
Like I know it's a divisional game.
Yeah.
But the Packers are about to rip their ass off. Like the Packers are probably the best, maybe the best top-down team in this league right now. Top down. Between quarterback, defense when everyone's healthy, weapons, coaching, everything. They're probably the best top-down. And it hurts me to say that, but they're probably the best top-down team in the league. And the Bears suck. Like the Bears are bad. Like there's a reason.
Fields is back, Bears right? If I'm not mistaken. Is Fields coming back from that rib injury?
I don't think it matters, to be honest.
I don't think it does either, but
I think it matters just a little bit more that Andy Dalton's not behind center.
Hold on, let's see what Google will tell me. But no, it's like the Packers might be the best team in the league right now. And I just Googled if he started in the first article. It doesn't matter who the Bears started quarterback.
It says he will start.
Okay. Fields cleared. Will start versus Packers. Yeah, he'll play.
It really doesn't though.
It doesn't, though. But, I mean, I guess Fields does give them an extra dimension to their offense. But I mean,
he does.
That Packers defense is. I don't know how many players they got back, but I think they've got most of them back. And that defense is really good. And Aaron Rodgers has torched the Bears his whole career, and this is one of the worst Bears defenses they've had. So,
and a big thing on that Packers defense is the emergence of Rashawn Gary as a legitimate pass rusher. I think we all have. I know you as a Michigan guy, Steph. That's college football talk. Sorry.
I already know, baby.
And Michigan breeds D linemen. That's our thing. But
so I think that's also big.
I think the Packers might score 40.
40. All right.
I go 36.
That's fine. I mean, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. I mean, dude, I just this might be ugly. It really might.
Well, we're gonna see. I'll move on to a game that will be a little bit more difficult for you to choose. And Cam, I'll start with you. Rams at Cardinals. Who do you have here?
That is tough.
Yeah.
I go with Arizona. And I just think that, and the Rams are my Super Bowl pick before the year, and I'm not ready to let that go. But the Cardinals are just playing at a level I think nobody expected them to. That defense is playing well. I think Kyler Murray's the best quarterback on the field when those two teams play. I don't know how controversial that is or not, but I think they're the best. He's the best quarterback on the field when those two teams play. Hopkins is back now. That team is just rolling. I mean, that team is putting up 350 yards of offense with Colt McCoy. And that Cardinals team, I think, is just too good. And that Rams team this year, when they've played great teams, have not looked good.
That's fair.
They got owned by Aaron Rodgers. They got owned by Tom Brady. Every time they play,
no, didn't they beat Tampa? They beat Tampa.
Did they beat Tampa?
They beat Tampa. Yes, they beat Tampa.
That's on me. But no, even with the Rodgers thing though, they didn't look like Aaron Rodgers looked like he wasn't even concerned with them when they played them. So that's on me on that one though. But yeah, like the Cardinals just look like the better team right now. Could the Rams win, of course, but like because that team can always win. But the Rams just found themselves kind of reeling recently in a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, Stafford did have a nice get right game last week, so I could see him. He bounced back, so we could see him maybe righting the ship. They were also without Henderson that game, but Sony Michel filled in beautifully, so it wasn't like they really missed him. But Greg, who do you have here?
So I'm a little bit worried as a Matthew Stafford stan, right? Okay. I've been rocking with Stafford his whole career, and I think he has the ability to play well in this game. But what worries me is the front seven on the Rams. Not necessarily the line, but the linebackers, because Chase Edmonds is coming back.
I think he's coming back this week.
Oh, I read the report. They said he was supposed to blitz on Connor.
I think open practice window. He's designated to return, but they haven't confirmed if he's going to be active.
Okay.
I thought the reports kind of were that he was going to kind of be like when the Packers brought Aaron Jones back a couple weeks ago, where like he was back, but he's not really. Like he's going to play a little, but like.
Got you. Okay, well, in that case, I'm still worried because the way the Cardinals have utilized John Connor, they kind of unlocked him as opposed to the Pittsburgh Steelers in his last couple of years over there, and using him as a pass catching back a little more so. And I'm scared that the Rams don't have the linebacking core to keep up with the Cardinals running game. That being said, I'm going to pick the Cards.
Wow.
I want the Rams to win in my heart. I really want this to be like a get right, like, big time divisional win. You know what? Scrap that. I'm picking the Rams. I'm sticking with my gut.
I enjoy the like mid-sentence like flip because it's just like it's from the gut. It comes from the gut. Whenever you switch like that, because your brain's telling you one thing, but your gut's telling you another. That was the gut choice. I was gonna go Rams. All right, because I didn't think you had the fortitude to go Rams. I'm going Rams.
Oh, wow! You just tried to tell me I have no marbles.
I didn't have marbles.
That's what you trying to tell me on air. That's what we doing, bro?
No, that did not happen. You read into it. You can read between any lines you want. Yeah. I said fortitude.
I know you. My whole life.
Let the people decide. Let the people decide.
You tried to dress it up.
Let the people decide what I was trying to say. I just said fortitude. That was it. Think of it as you will. As you drink out of your big Pete Alonso cup. That's fine. Think what you want. I said fortitude. That was it.
But I will say this, though. I mean, I don't think Chase Edmonds is the best running back on that team.
No.
Well, he's the best pass catching option, in my opinion. But as far as overall running back, I
but
agree
it's like,
with you.
Does Arizona even believe that, though? Because when Edmonds was playing, he was getting like 3 targets a game, too. Like, do they even believe that?
Fair point.
I don't really think that. Even last year, I didn't believe much in Chase Edmonds, and this year, I think they split the carries a decent amount, or at least all goal line work pretty much went to James Conner.
Yeah.
And now that Chase Edmonds has been out, and you've seen what Conner can do in the passing game, you don't really need to rely on Edmonds as much, especially coming off of IR.
Hold on, I just gotta address Elijah Muhammad in the comments real quick. He said every time I do this, my team loses. Sir, you pick the Raiders every week. You can't talk to anybody. You can't talk to anybody. Shut it down.
Shut it all down. But yeah, that's gonna do it for our picks. Before we head out, I do want to acknowledge a passing that happened yesterday. So it was announced yesterday evening that former NFL wide receiver Demaryius Thomas was found dead in his Georgia home. The police report state that he suffered a seizure in his shower, and this is the seizure is something he suffered with over a year now. So for those that don't know, Demaryius Thomas, he was drafted in the first round, 2010. He was selected. He has selected in 5 Pro Bowls, 1 Super Bowl 50. He has 2 AFC Super Bowl wins. I'm sorry, Super Bowl AFC championships, thank you, under his belt, has the second most receiving yards in Broncos history. And while he shines very bright as a player, the numbers show that off the field, there are countless stories and anecdotes shared by his loved ones and friends showing how great of a person he was. He was very loved. He touched the lives of a lot of, lucky people. It just seems like he was the kind of person that lit up a room and was very special. So want to say rest in peace to Demaryius Thomas. He passed away at 33, very young age. And our thoughts and prayers are with his family. It is that it's very rough to lose anyone in life, but especially when they're so young, to be robbed of all that is left for them. And he had his second stage in life that he was clearly looking forward to, as he just announced his retirement this past summer. So yes, just a rest in peace to Demaryius Thomas, and I wish him, his family, his loved ones well as they're working through this difficult loss. But with that, we're going to wrap up. As always, I want to thank our guests. Cam, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate you as always, sir. You're almost getting into the territory with Chuck when it comes to the energy, the rant energy for your home team. Really appreciate that. But thank you as always for coming on, sir. It was a pleasure. And for all the fans at home, don't forget, like, share, comment, and subscribe to all Hitless content on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The handle on IG. The handle on IG is SportsHL. Again, that is SportsHL. Coming up, we have the NFL Sunday kickoff show on Sunday at 12 p.m. So don't forget to check that out.
Don't listen to Travis.
I was going to say Travis is on there. You don't have to listen to him, but you do have Swaggy P, Paul Lawson himself, out there doing his best alongside Travis and Carl. So enjoy that. And then we'll be back again on Monday, 7 to 8, the time frame you love to see us in. But with that being said, I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside Greg Polius and our special guest, Cam. I also want to shout out Zig. Y'all enjoy your weekend, and we'll see y'all on Monday. Take care.